Hello YouTube, Jumpy23 here, coming at you today with, frankly, a long and boring one. I'll be starting with Flaming Stooge Hunt, but while all random encounters will still be one turns, they're getting longer in real time. Then we have a real map, and then I'm wrapping it up with Squasher Hunt, because frankly, I don't want to start 2 videos in a row with random encounter. That means this video will be longer than usual. Fortunately, I had this gratuitously overlong prep menu sequence to give this introductory spiel during. I decided midway through recording Pristine Peaks that I won't actually record preps in the future because they're too hard to redo if the recording gets screwed up. I'll just show the skill in Spark layouts before playing the map in the future. The other upside is that I won't have to think of stuff to say to fill time like I'm doing right now. So I hope we can both look forward to that, and at the very least, I can. I probably overthought my preps optimization for this mission, which is just to kill 2 lone wolves on a tiny map. There are 3 Flaming Stooges, all of which give 40 XP, so I'm free to kind of do whatever. In the end, I'm just going to kill each one once, so that I don't have to see an extra loading screen. Each Flaming Stooge, I mean. That prep sequence was much longer than the actual map is going to be. With 2 sparks that grant Athlete, which is giving a bonus damage to stomps and dashes, Edge is doing fat damage with her dashes now. Later in Pristine Peaks, we'll get the ultimate dash boosting spark, Vamp Dash, which both grants the passive Athlete and has the active power to boost dashes even further. Then Edge's dashes are really going to be a menace. In the second Flaming Stooge Hunt map, Luigi is the only unit who can jump up to the lone wolf on the tower, so it might seem like a strange decision to position him here as a footstool. However, Rabid Mario says, who gives a fuck about elevation?
Too easy. That's how it's done.
Oh, yes, Mama like.
We hit level 13 here, which is mildly helpful, but not like a big deal for the next map.
Showtime.
This last Flaming Stooge is a bit harder because it's a route map, instead of just kill 2 lone wolves. However, when I do say a bit harder, I mean a bit harder. That second team jump may have looked like a misinput, but Luigi did it just for an extra dash.
One down. Just deadly. That'll do.
Alright, now that Flamin' Stooge Hunt is cleaned up, time for a real mission, kind of. A Cold Greetings objective is defeat 12, but there are only 8 enemies on the map at the start. This will actually happen a few more times in side missions, but this is the only time that a story mission pulls this kind of thing. Anyway, basically what we need to do is clear out the map ASAP, because reinforcement portals won't spawn if too many enemies are alive, and then spawn camp the reinforcements with Overwatch skills to get the minimum turn count. To that end, I've deployed Mario and Luigi, with skill points poured into their Overwatches. My last deployment choice will be Edge, who's really good in this map because the enemies start in clusters where she can dash 2 at once. However, no matter how fast I clear out the map, the 12th enemy won't spawn until turn 4, so this map has a pretty lax turn 4. I'll need to spend most of turn 4 setting up max power overwatches, but even routing this map in 3 turns is a breeze. Because the enemies on this map are mostly Sea Stooges, I'm equipping shock powers. There won't be enough to go around, but Luigi can take Zephyr Star to one-shot the last reinforcement with the out-of-bounds damage boost, since he already hits so hard.
Let's go.
I'll need Turbocharge again on turn 4 to make sure I can kill the reinforcements. But fortunately the cooldown is 3 turns, so I'll be able to use it again then without a cooldown clock. The annoying downside of Shock Dash is that you have to wait out such a long animation before doing your next one. I probably sound like I'm just finding something to complain about, but I'm an impatient animations off type player. I want to immediately hit dash again, dang it. Even the normal flop animation after a dash is honestly too long for me.
Okie dokie. All right. Let's go. Woohoo!
Mario got some lucky crits here, but they're not really necessary. Luigi could have helped finish off those Sea Stooges if they had survived. In fact, the crits kind of screw me over. After a while of deciding what to do with Luigi, because as you can see, I really wasn't prepared for this eventuality. I take a partial cover shot at this scoper. Standing in front of this bookcase, instead of the one right next to it, will expose Luigi on enemy phase, and I missed the scoper anyway. Now I can easily finish off the remaining 2 enemies on this turn, so I'm not optimizing very hard right here. Positioning also isn't too finicky because the pipe helps a lot in making sure that I can go wherever I want. I was shocked there to see how low Luigi's damage was at point blank range. I absolutely expected that to still kill. Fortunately, his line of sight isn't completely blocked by the stairs. And now we just wait. What's going to spawn from these reinforcement portals is 2 Sea Stooges. If you're close enough, they have a dash in addition to their shot, both of which apply the splash effect. Luigi's HP is kind of low, so he's in some real danger. So I'm trying to position Mario to be a more attractive target, as he can be bounced out of bounds, although I'm honestly not sure how the targeting AI works. Anyway, my plan kinda works. And even though the other Sea Stooge does target Luigi, everyone survives enemy phase. I'll need to buy another Robo-heal after this, but that's really not a problem. Like I said, on turn 4, I really want to use everyone's actions to set up overwatches. So Ez needs to use Turbocharge, both Luigi and Mario need to use their own Spark powers, and then they need to use their Overwatch skill. Fortunately, Ez's Spark powers are charged just in time, and she can easily kill these two Stooges with just Shock Dash, so everyone's freed up. As you can see there's some sort of chain lightning effect if multiple enemies get shocked, which makes the shock damage way stronger, but I'm really not 100% sure how it works. Most of the hard to kill enemies resist all super effects, so I've never really had incentive to look deep into it, at least not yet.
Yes.
I brought Luigi onto the stairs here to have line of sight. Then I remembered I paid for the Ghost Bullet skill, which makes Steely Stare able to pass through obstacles. So I just go for maximum range. Mario actually does need line of sight, so up the stairs he goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now all I can do is hit end turn and hope both my units one-shot, because otherwise I have to replay this whole map.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woohoo.
But of course they do, and that's a cold welcome in 4 turns. Now we'll finish off the day with Squasher Hunt. No preps here because the maps are easy enough that I don't need them. I'll just reuse my cold greeting build. It's also the only continuity error in Pristine Peaks right now. Fortunately, it's a minor one, just HP values being different. So the reason I put off Squasher Hunt in the first place is that after a cold greeting, you unlock the Winter Palace. There's a roaming Squasher in there which gives 50 XP when killed, and I wanted to farm that one for Squasher Hunt. But as it turns out, it doesn't count for the quest. However, I only realized this after I killed that Squasher 3 times and then saved over my file. Fortunately, I had a backup save right before Icy Breath of Winter, but I did have to replay everything after that. Anyway, the good news is that the 40 XP Squasher on the wooden bridge does count for the quest, so I can farm that one. If only the 30 XP Squashers counted, I definitely would have been kicking myself for putting off the quest, and making Wolf at the Floor so much harder for no reason. The 40 XP Squasher also seems to always give defeat lone wolves objectives, which is nice. Like I said in Flaming Stooge Hunt, I find these to be generally easier than Route. However, my lack of care led to some really unoptimized clears of these maps, so sorry that they're going to be slow. See what I mean about the dash animation taking forever? I jumped Luigi up here expecting that he'd have pure line of sight on the lone wolf because of elevation, but after realizing that he was firing into partial cover, I decided that I might actually fail to one turn if he missed, and it would be safer to use jump shot, which always does beat partial cover.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, can't stop Ouija.
So here, I leave this lone wolf for dead, and only realize too late that it actually wasn't, so I wasted dash on the squasher for no reason. Oops. Fortunately, like I said, these aren't very hard clears, so I don't need to optimize them. Well, this episode was long and not the most exciting, but we got through it together. Tune in next time for some more interesting maps. Thanks for watching.